Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another early morning Sunday show. The show that is packed with vinyl and absolutely trivial facts that will get you no job and get you nowhere in life, but hopefully give you a 20-minute to a half-hour slice of enjoyment. This week I was down in Youngstown, Ohio, one of the places that I was at, and I was staying right downtown. Beautiful little hotel down there, and I was out to forage for food is what I call it every night. You gotta go foraging. So I got my little app, Yelp app, and I'm walking around, and I found this barbecue joint. It didn't have a lot of people looking at it, but it had 4.5 stars out of 5. Now, when you don't have a lot of people looking at it, basically that means the family members went out and they just hit, hey, it's 5-star, 5-star, and put it on there to bring people like me down to take a look at it. So I'm walking to look for this place. I'm going past these nice spots, and everyone in Youngstown, Ohio seems to eat out. There's not much else downtown. There's financial institutions and cafes and really no retail. Well, finally it takes me to this where there should have been a building, but now there is no longer a building. It's kind of a little bit down the line here, and so well, let's go back to the alley. Maybe you have to go in through the alley. So you get to the alley. It's one of those alleys where you're kind of just waiting for someone to pop out with a knife and say, give me your wallet. Yeah, that kind of crap doesn't bother me, so okay. No, there's nothing here, so I go around. Well, the building right next to this empty spot was this tavern, like drought tavern or something. I mean, it was super dirty. There's graffiti written on it. The windows were washed back around 1961. But I noticed on the extremely bad door, there's a little 8x11 poster or sheet, something you make off your computer. It has the name of the barbecue place. I go, really? That's it, huh? And I kind of look and go, well, this isn't right, but what the hell? I've committed to this adventure. You commit to something, by God, you finish it. So I walk into this place. In the very first room, it has these billiard tables. There's not a soul to be seen by any of them. It's dark. It's one of those old bars, dark, dingy, musty, shall we say, a fine layer of dust, giving that little extra antique type look. So I go back to the next room where the bar is at, and there's two guys on a bar stool, and it just appeared that these two guys were placed there about 1985. They set them down, and they hadn't moved since 1985. They were pretty grisly looking. And the bartender, she's one rough looking dude. And so suddenly I have 6 eyeballs looking at me. Now, I'm in a very nice suit. And so I'm looking and go, holy crap, do I just run? But no, I'm committed. By God, it said they have barbecue, and I want to find out what kind of barbecue. I don't care how bad it is. I want to know. Give me that damn barbecue. So I look at her, and they're just looking at me like, dude, you're from another planet. Are you an idiot? What the hell are you doing here? And I go, you have barbecue? No, they don't do it on Tuesday. Oh, that's Tuesday. So next thought was, so I just sit down and have a beer with these guys, and in retrospect, I probably should have just for the whole adventure of the thing, but let me tell you, my spidey senses are going off and saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Get the hell out of this place. But I never did find barbecue, but I found something else. It was a fun night. Chicken and waffles, that's what I had. Chicken and waffles. It was pretty good too, so you never know. Every day can be an adventure if you want to make one of it, right? Right. Okay. All right, well, we're going to begin here. Let's get through this final, because there'll be a number of needle drops. It's actually, most of these songs, there's no YouTube problem with them. I can play something. I just lose I could lose my advertising royalties. So nothing of nothing is nothing. So good luck with that, right? what you got playing in the background is one of my probably top 10 albums of all time. I actually have a top 100 list that someday I'm going to do. I don't know when that someday will be because I got all this new stuff, and if I don't play the new stuff I bought, then I can't file it. Well, if I would quit buying the new stuff, then I could do the top 100. But we'll see. We'll work on. Dean, Grandma's Handbag's been working on one. It's been wonderful, and I've really been enjoying that one. So I just got this in, and we talked about last week Matthew Sweet's Girlfriend, and this is why I was trying to get through Pledge Music. I did get a letter from Pledge Music, not from Pledge, I got it from Matthew Sweet's company, his management company. I got an email, and it was either Monday or Tuesday, and it said, Matthew Sweet fans. Kind of funny, suddenly I got that thing. Well, we talked about Pledge Music on Sunday. I get this. And they're apologizing, and basically they said Pledge Music screwed us over too. So you're not the only ones that should feel like you were screwed. And it seemed like Pledge Music was living the high life, wanted the extras, and basically kind of gone bankrupt. Someone's looking at buying them, trying to rectify things, but we all know that's not going to happen. So I was screwed. But my record store got this in, and this is a limited edition. This is, they only made 1,000 of these, and it's on pink vinyl. Has a nice insert. Kind of just goes out like that. Da 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 da. It's the same booklet you had in the CD, except this is made for people like me, so we can read it instead of a CD. That always pissed me off in CDs when they came out. I go, how am I supposed to read that? With glasses. So Matthew Sweet, he was born in '64 in Lincoln, Nebraska. Go Big Red. Farley from Farley's Nerdcade, he's not Georgian. You can't claim him. Farley was telling me. I talked about this on a video. So he's from Lincoln, Nebraska, which makes him a Cornhusker, and God bless him for that. But he went to college in the early 80s. He went to Athens, Georgia for college. And he was already writing songs and that, and he went to an REM concert, and he met Michael Stipe. Well, him and Michael Stipe created a friendship, and they actually had a duel, and they called themselves Community Trolls. But that wasn't enough, so he got with Michael Stipe's sister, Linda Stipe, and they formed a band. It was called OK. So that's two bands, but two bands isn't enough for Matthew. Let's do a third band. So the drummer from OK, Linda Stipe's band, and him formed another duo, and they called themselves the Buzz of Delight, something like that. Well, this guy was going around, and he finally got a record contract in the late 80s. Well, this was his third album, and this came out in 1991. And I bought this on CD. And I put this for me, when I do my top 100, it's the top 100 albums that I listen to more than anything else that I listen to. There's great classics that are on there because I don't listen to them enough. This was one. When this came out, it was perpetually on my CD player, non-stop. And to this day, it's one of those where I have the full CD on my iPod and in my phone because the music was that beautiful. He was going through a divorce, and so a lot of the music was from that. But when you listen to it, the harmonies, it's just some of the most beautiful harmonies you've ever heard. It's called power pop, and you hear it through the guitars. I mean, listen to this. I mean, that's just cool stuff. I mean, he has some jangly guitars. There's fuzz guitar in there. The Richard Lloyd from Television plays guitar on this. So it's just, to me, it was one of these perfect albums. And in the 1990s, this was considered, some critics will say this was the best power pop album of the 1990s. And for me, it's one of the best of all time. This is Tuesday Weld. She was a young actress in the 50s. They actually wanted to call this album something else, but her management company said you can't call it that because it would be making fun of her. So great album, Girlfriend, just one of my best. It's out on vinyl. This was the limited edition release, and I could not be more thrilled. This is, last week I showed her Grail. This would be another one in vinyl. While we're talking Matthew Sweet on Record Store Day, I did pick up this, the Blue Sky of Mars tour. Matthew Sweet on there. And it's on beautiful black vinyl. I think there is nothing. No, it's not. Look at that. Oh, it's on yellow. They had a nice, I mean, it's a basic sleeve, but still it's cool. That's very nice. This is 1987. He had Blue Sky on Mars was the name of the CD. He was touring, but quite a few of the songs from Girlfriend are on here, so it's a nice little live album. Also, I had received this in the mail. It's Matthew Sweet. This came out in 2017. Let's see, we'll do that. So this was an album that was funded by his fans, and actually he started it in 2015 but didn't come out till 2017, and it's called Tomorrow Forever, and it's on very quality vinyl. I mean, it's like it's 180 gram vinyl. Beautiful stuff. It continues on. You know, Matthew Sweet did experiment with some other stuff, but he's kind of gone more back to his power pop roots because that's what people expect from him and really like. So this was, you know, have a lot of the newer Matthew Sweet. He has stuff coming out. In fact, May 3rd, the new Matthew Sweet album is coming out. I've already pre-ordered it, so I'm kind of looking forward to hearing that. So another kind of Grail taken away. Alright, so I played a track for you also. Alright, next one is from Record Store Day. This is Fuzzy Haskins, and it is called A Whole Nother Thing. A Whole Nother Thing. And it's Clarence Eugene Fuzzy Haskins. This guy is born in 41. He started his career in New Jersey, though, with a group called the Parliaments. And every weekend, the Parliaments would drive from New Jersey to Detroit in hoping that Motown would hear them play and give them a record contract. Well, eventually they got in with a different label and began recording. Well, the head of the Parliaments was, what was that guy? Some guy named George Clinton, okay? Well, in 1970, this guy named George Clinton, not to be confused with Bill for some of you, he decided, you know what, let's take the 5 singers from the Parliaments and let's put them with 5 horn players from this other group called Funkadelic. And he put them together. It was going to be one group, but Funkadelic was on a different label, so he kind of still made it 2 different groups. So suddenly you had the formation of Parliament and the formation of Funkadelic, and George Clinton was the guy in charge of both of them. So this guy was part of Parliament. He was one of the singers. He used to go on his long johns. Well, in 1976, he did this album. And he only did 2 albums, and this is one of them. And it has kind of the horns of Parliament. Bootsy Collins plays on this. Bernie Worrell plays on this also. It's on just black vinyl. And so you have that, you know, funk and soul feel to it, but it's 1976, remember, so you get a kind of a little more of a, you can feel a little more dance, a little more disco-y, not hard disco or anything, but you have a little bit of that. So this was a fun listen. I'll play you a track so you can hear what Fuzzy Haskins sounds like. But fun, funk, and soul. So, funk and soul, right? You say, show me more. Show me more, Steve. Well, let me do that. Kelly Finnegan. This just came in. This is just released off Coal Mine Records. And this is on beautiful. Nice red there. Kelly Finnegan. His dad was a musician, Michael Kelly Finnegan. And his father was a vocalist and keyboard player, and he's played with everyone. He's played with Jimi Hendrix, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Etta James, Buddy Guy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on where Kelly Finnegan's father, Michael, has played with. Well, Kelly, you know, they moved out. Actually, Michael Finnegan was out of Ohio, Troy, Ohio. Well, eventually, somehow, Kelly wound up being out in San Francisco area. And he's part of the group called Monophonics. And so I showed that album a couple weeks ago. It's another kind of a soul, group album. Soul and funk out of Coal Mine Record, Monophonics. So this is Kelly's solo album. So he put this out and it just came out. Again, it's just Coal Mine Records makes such classic music if you like the funk and soul, if you like a lot of instrumental. And this is 60s. Think 60s Curtis Mayfield, think Delphonics, that type of music. It definitely has that 60s type groove to it. This record label, and I've talked about it, and many others have too. Chris from First Pressing Goodness has talked a lot about this. Tim is starting to look at a lot of this stuff too. Great music. So a very nice pickup, and I'll play you a little section of this so you can hear what it sounds like. All right, let's go in a different route now. Bobcat 65. So this is a group that was from northern Spain, and they formed in 2015. It's 3 people. We have Anna on guitar and vocals, Paula on bass and vocals, and Diego on drums. It came on yellow vinyl. My goodness, I have Colors of the Rainbow. Beth from B-Side Records. I'm just like doing your whole Colors of the Rainbow contest again today. It's pretty amazing. Bobcat came as the name of a guitar that was popular, a brand of guitar back in the 60s called Bobcat. And so this came out. These guys were infatuated with teen music of the 60s, kind of teen garage music. There's some ballads on here, but then there's other ones that just have a really good garage sound, kind of a little bit of a psychedelic sound to it. It's just a lot of the songs are obscure covers from the 60s. Again, more kind of from teen songs. But they also do a few of their originals. So they have a couple originals, and the rest is obscure. It says on here, This is Kitty Garage Beat. Kitty Garage Beat. It does nothing to do with Kitty when you listen to this. It says, two cool chicks and one hip cat from north of Spain, Asturias, have recorded their debut album. Strange Sounds. Hey, Rob, maybe you know these guys. Really fun. They've released a different one, but I found this at a crazy clearance price, so I picked it up. Let's get into some jazz. So this was one of these many reissues that are out there that you can find at extremely low prices from Wax Time. It's probably digital. I don't know. I can't tell if it's digital or not. I mean, folks, my ears just aren't the type that's going to pick out the nuances. You know, some of you, you know, Michael Dawson, you're no doubt you would know on that. You know, Chris Keebler, you would know. Ken Metcalf, obviously, but me, I want the music, and I know I won't find this, or I'm not going to, you know, it's going to be a lot of money. So I picked this up. It's 180 gram. Chet Baker and Bill Evans, they rarely perform together, which is kind of a shame. You wonder what they could have done. I mean, they both had a lot of similarities. They both were heroin addicts. The problem was Baker, his heroin addiction was out in front of everyone. It was in public. He was extremely erratic with it. Bill Evans, he kept his heroin addiction private. He didn't want it to interfere with his playing or his music. Baker, he learned, he played by ear. He didn't have any formal training. This guy just, he picked it up. You know, just one of those prodigies. What would have happened? Well, maybe knowing how to play music would have ruined him. But, you know, it was all by ear. While Bill Evans was an extremely accomplished composer. When you look at Miles Davis, his more symphonic work, I mean, Bill Evans is all over that stuff. You know, this one here on these, this is kind of from two different albums. One was The Lyrical Trumpet of Chet Baker, and the other one was Chet Baker Plays the Best of Lerner and Lowe. But you have Pepper Adams on here, Herbie Mann, Kenny Burrell, Paul Chambers, Philly Joe Jones are all played on these. So it's a selection from those where Evans is playing with Chet Baker. It's very lyrical. It's very soft. It's not bebop music. So you have, because Chet Baker's on here, you have more of that West Coast cool jazz type feel, a little more laid back. You sit back and can relax and listen to this. So that was fun. I got Bill Withers here. So this is a repress. I've been looking for this forever. If I find one, it's beat up. The vinyl's tore up because why? It was popular and people played the hell out of it. You know, a good album, when you pick them up all the time and they're just worn out, it's a good album. So I finally had to go through music on vinyl, and I got this. William Withers was his name, William Withers, and he was born in Slab Fork, West Virginia, a coal mining town, but he grew up in Beckley, West Virginia. I used to have to, for 3 years, I had to travel to Beckley for work. It's in the middle of Appalachia. Let me tell you, it's a kind of a tougher area. Town's not bad, but boy, to get there's a bitch. But he eventually, he's 9 years in the Navy, began working for an airplane company, putting together airplanes, and then he had this hit, You Ain't No Sunshine, Ain't No Sunshine When She Comes. And he wouldn't quit his job. He goes, the music industry is too fickle. I'm not losing my job, man. So this is the second album. He quit his job, okay? And on Still Bill, he had on there the song Lean On Me. and the song Use Me. Use Me is one of the most openly sexual songs out there. They don't try to hide the lyrics. Use Me is basically that thing's about sex, and it's there in the lyrics. Even I figured that out, and that is something if I can figure it out. It's beautiful black vinyl, of course. This is just a soul classic. I would recommend anybody, to get this if you like soul music whatsoever. This would be a highly important album to have. It is beautiful stuff. So Bill Withers. I'm going to play the track Use Me. It's a popular one. It was number 2. Lean on Me went to number 1, both in the R&B charts. But if you're not familiar with it, just listen to the guitar. Ray Jackson, was it? Did the guitar work on this thing, on Use Me? It's just really great stuff. So Bill Withers. All right, we're down to the last couple. This is from The Accused. It's called More Fun Than an Open Casket Funeral, okay? Now, why did I buy this? I was standing in line record store today and I saw that artwork. And the first thing, is that a blues album? I don't know. I couldn't even tell who it was. Well, there it was, The Accused. These guys, they came out of Seattle, Washington. Bo, maybe you know them. Vinyl Richie, maybe you saw them in concert. They formed in 1981. They broke up in 92. They formed again in 03. They broke up in 10. It's like thrashcore, thrash metal, with all this punk attitude thrown in there. It's kind of a crossover between all that. They called it splattercore. They always had a zombie. So there's a woman zombie on here, and I'm trying to figure out which one's the woman zombie on there. But her name was, they called her, it was their mascot, Martha Splattercore. And Martha Splattercore, she went around and she would eat the brains and all that of pedophiles and rapists. So these guys, I mean, it was thrashy, it was just hardcore kind stuff, but they were serious about some of their music. Some of it maybe not, but I mean, they're pissed off about stuff. So there they are in action. The lead singer, Blaine, they have the instruments. Blaine's is larynx. He was just a little kind of, they said he was like what did they call him? A deranged gnome on stage. I love that description, deranged gnome. He was just everywhere, just crazy as all get out. So it was something totally different out of my wheelhouse, shall we say, but I like that kind of stuff, and it was good, and love the cover artwork. We have Coco Taylor here, Queen of the Blues. All right, this Coco Taylor's real name was Kara Ann Walton. She is not part of the Walton family that all of us in the 70s grew up with and loved. Well, okay, I wasn't a huge Walton fan, but this was from 1987. It's a live recording of Coco Taylor. The thing is with Coco, some people don't like live albums. When you got blues, live tells you what the blues is all about. And this thing's power-packed. It's full of just excitement in there. You know, when she came up to Chicago in the 50s, she got to know Willie Dixon. In 64, she got a recording contract where she did Wang Dang Doodle. Well, she recorded with Checkers until the 70s, and then Alligator Records took her on. And so this is off of Alligator Records. She just has a booming voice. What's interesting, it's written on here, it says Coco Taylor. Now, is that a real autograph? Is that Coco Taylor's autograph? It could be, Why would you write, if you bought this album and it says Coco Taylor, why would you write Coco Taylor on there? It says Coco Taylor. I don't know. I'm going to say that's her autograph. This is from her. This is worth $1 billion, and it's mine, and eat your heart out. Final one. Super Sessions. This is from Bloomfield, Cooper, and Stills. This came out in 1968. And it is just on basic Columbia. Okay? This was at the time when supergroups were pretty darn popular. Everybody had a supergroup. We had Creams. You had Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Blind Faith. Well, this was a supergroup too. But they really didn't play together. So on side one, you had Bloomfield and Cooper playing together. Side two, you had Cooper and Stills playing together. So it's a little bit different. This is what you call like a 5-star classic, okay? A lot of you probably have this. If you haven't, it's worth listening, and I am going to play a snippet from it. Their instrumentals, I think, are great. They do Albert Shuffle, which is what I'm going to play from, but there's also Season from the Witch. Their vocals, I'm not as keen about. To me, the vocals come out dated, but when they play guitar, it feels like the blues. It's down dirty, and Cooper's organ is spectacular. Really fun sounding stuff. So this was a happy pickup I got from my buddy Bill Young at Michigan Records. So great listen, really like that. There we have. That's this week's show. I went way over. Damn it! I thought I went fast. Hey everyone, sorry, long, but I had some needle drops. But thank you again for tuning in as you always do. Hope you have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Go to Youngstown. Go to a barbecue place. It'll be an experience you will never forget. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Bye.